It was the kind of love that I never saw coming, the kind of love that creeps up on you when you're busy with everything else in life. I didn't expect to feel this way about him. And I certainly didn't think that he would become the most important person in my life, but he did. His name was Ryan. I met Ryan in my first year of graduate school. We were both new to the program, and as everyone knows, the first year of grad school is always a whirlwind of lectures, assignments, and late-night study sessions. But Ryan, he was different. He had this presence that made you feel calm even on the most chaotic days. He didn't need to be the loudest person in the room. He was quiet, but his words were always meaningful. He listened, really listened, and I found that so rare. At first, we were just friends. It was easy, effortless. We worked together on a few group projects, shared notes, and often ended up having long conversations in the library until it closed. He was the person who understood the things I couldn't say out loud. He had this ability to see past the surface, to know when something was bothering me even when I tried to hide it. It was the kind of connection that made me feel like I didn't have to pretend to be anything other than myself. But as the months passed, something started to change. I wasn't sure when it happened, but it did. I began to realize that I didn't just look forward to our study sessions because they helped me with my work. I looked forward to them because I wanted to be near him. I started to notice the small things, the way his eyes would light up when he smiled, the way he'd push his glasses up his nose when he was thinking, the way he made the hardest days feel easier just by being there. And then, it hit me. I had fallen in love with him. Quietly, without even realizing it, I had fallen in love with my best friend. It terrified me. I had never expected to fall for someone like Ryan. He was so different from anyone I had ever been interested in. He wasn't the kind of person who did grand gestures or made a scene. He didn't wear his heart on his sleeve. He was reserved, and I couldn't help but wonder if he even saw me the way I saw him. I didn't want to risk our friendship. I didn't want to complicate everything. So, I kept my feelings hidden. I buried them deep, told myself it was just a fleeting crush, that it would pass. I didn't want to ruin everything, and I was too afraid to find out the truth. But as the months went by, the feelings didn't fade. In fact, they only grew stronger. One evening, after a particularly grueling week of exams and research papers, we found ourselves in our usual spot in the library, the only two left in the building, sitting side by side with piles of notes scattered between us. The clock on the wall read past midnight, but we were too caught up in our work to care about the time. "You ever think about what happens after we finish this program?" Ryan asked suddenly, breaking the comfortable silence between us. "What's next?" I looked over at him, surprised by the question. It was the first time he had brought up anything outside of our academic lives. His eyes were tired, but there was a spark of curiosity in him, as if he was searching for something beyond what we were currently doing. "I don't know," I replied, my voice soft. "I guess I've been too focused on just getting through it. But I've thought about what I want in the future. I just didn't think it would come so fast. Time's flying by." He nodded, leaning back in his chair, his fingers tapping lightly on the desk. "Yeah, it feels like we're just going through the motions, sometimes. Like we're waiting for something to change, but we don't know what." I could feel the weight of his words settling in the space between us. It felt like he was saying something more than what he had actually said. Like there was something deeper, something unspoken, hanging in the air. "I think we both know what we're waiting for," I said before I could stop myself. My heart raced as the words tumbled out, but once they were spoken, there was no taking them back. Ryan turned to look at me, his gaze soft but intense. "What do you mean?" I could feel the tension building, the walls I had built around my feelings crumbling with every passing second. This was it, the moment I had been dreading. The moment I had been avoiding for so long. "I mean, I think we both know what's been between us, Ryan. I've known for a while. I've been trying to ignore it, but I can't anymore. I'm in love with you. I think I always have been." The words hung in the air, louder than I had intended, and I immediately regretted them. I had said it. I had finally admitted it out loud. But what if he didn't feel the same? What if this was the end of everything we had? Ryan was silent for a long time. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, the seconds dragging by as I waited for him to say something, anything. The room felt colder suddenly, the weight of my confession hanging between us like a storm cloud. Finally, He spoke, his voice low and careful. I didn't know you felt that way. I felt a wave of panic rush through me, my mind racing to find the words to take it all back. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. I didn't mean to make things awkward. But Ryan shook his head, cutting me off. No, it's not that. It's just, I didn't know. I've been thinking about this too, Lena. I've been thinking about you in ways I shouldn't have. I've been scared to admit it to myself because I didn't want to risk losing what we have. I didn't know how you felt. My breath caught in my throat. You mean? Ryan nodded, a small smile tugging at his lips. I mean, I've been in love with you too. I just didn't know if I should say it, because I didn't want to make things weird between us. But I can't hide it anymore. I think I've been falling for you for a while now, and I don't want to fight it. I felt a sense of relief wash over me, like the storm inside me had finally passed. In that moment, everything changed. The fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, all of it melted away. The love that I had held inside, the love that had been quietly building between us for so long, was finally out in the open. I can't believe this is real, I whispered, my voice trembling. I thought I was the only one. No, Ryan said softly, taking my hand in his. You're not the only one. We're in this together now. And just like that, everything I had been too afraid to admit became our reality. The love I had buried for so long was no longer a secret, and it was the most freeing feeling I had ever experienced. We spent the rest of the evening talking, sharing our fears and hopes, our doubts and dreams. We didn't have all the answers, but for the first time, it didn't matter. What mattered was that we had found each other, truly found each other, and we were ready to take the next step, together.